Hi guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. By now, when this video is uploaded, hopefully I've thought of something like pithy and cool to name it, because I was going to name it like a Black Excellence book haul, but I'm really about to show you books by black and brown people, not just black people. So, you know, semantics. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. Couple of housekeeping things real quick. I got a new camera. Super excited to play with it. If I keep looking up there, sorry, the camera's like this big, and if you find her, the screen is like this big too, and it's hard to look like way like this far. It's like the actual lens is like right here and the screen is like up here, and so I'm looking at it now and it looks like I'm looking over you guys, but when I raise the camera up to my eyesight so I can look dead into the lens, it's like the view is like this. So I'm just trying to get used to like the proper way, like the setup and stuff. Yo, I don't know what that was. The struggle, bitch. All right, other housekeeping thing is, so for those of you who are not aware, I started and now run, along with Amanda from the Naughty Librarian and Brandy from Brandy Janae's Bookshelves, the Wicked Spirits Book Club, named such because it is a paranormal romance / urban fantasy book club. Hear this damn dog go again. Come here, sir. Cash, come here. Also, I like the play on words of spirits, and my ass is always drinking on camera, much like with the Novelush. Could mean multitude of things. I can dig it. I like it. I do dig it. That's why I named it such. Anyways, whatever. Book club. For August, we read Halfway to the Grave by Janine Frost. This is the first book in the Night Hunter series. It is a paranormal romance / urban fantasy. It's kind of a mix of both series, about vampire hunter who is half demon. No. So, Halfway to the Grave by Janine Frost is about Cat Crawford, who is half vampire, half human, but she hates her vampire half. She hates vampires in general, but that does not stop her from using her vampire strength to hunt the bastards on her own. She kind of teaches herself everything she thinks she needs to know, and she just goes at it. She is fairly successful until she comes across Bones, who is stronger than any other vampire she has yet encountered, and he quickly teaches her that, bitch, you ain't learned shit that's gonna help you with me. But because he's attracted to her, he starts to kind of teach her what she really does need to know so that they can work together. So it's like a working for his own purposes, also in investigating her, but also to get close to her because he's feeling her kind of a thing. It is steamy. It is funny. I binge these books every single time. Like, I start the first one over, I end up binging the whole series. I actually showed some restraint this time, only getting to book 2 before I stopped myself. That being said, the live show for that book is going to be September 15th. That is a Sunday. I think Sunday is the 15th. It is the 15th at 9 p.m. Pacific time. That is 10, 11, 12 o'clock if you're in New York, 11 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock if you're in the Denver mountainous area. If you're somewhere than that, I don't know what to tell you because math. But anyway, the live show is going to be on my channel this month, so I will look forward to seeing you all there. I'm going to try to get this video up tomorrow. That will give you like 2.5 days to read it if you'd like to join us. The book we're reading for the month of September is Burn For Me by Ilona Andrews. Y'all don't know how long I've been waiting for this shit. I've been trying to get you motherfuckers to read Ilona Andrews' book with me for the longest. I'm stoked. This is not the Kate Daniels series, of which I am always talking about, but the Hidden Legacy series, which is it takes place in a kind of dystopian, kind of alternate reality Houston, whereas families don't just have old money, but they have old magic as well, and there is feuding amongst the houses and house warfare, and shit just gets real. Nevada, who is the main character, is kind of a private eye with this magic that lets her tell when anybody is telling the truth or lying to her. And it's also a brand of magic that is very dangerous because if the government finds out you have it, they will use you as their own personal lie detector. My dog is really scratching at this door now. I'm trying my hardest to ignore him. I hope you can't hear him, but I'm just gonna keep going because he's been driving me crazy. She doesn't want to be used as the government's own personal lie detector, and so she kind of keeps her abilities a secret. But her latest case, in which she's chasing a fire starter, blows up in her face and shit just gets wild. Matt Rogan is one of my favorite heroes. Like, he and Curran, like, nah, bro, it's Matt Rogan over Curran. Even though I get Curran in more books, like, Matt Rogan is bae. I don't care. He crazy as fuck, but I love it. So I need you guys to read the story with me for the month of September, and then I believe this the live show for this read will be on Amanda's channel in the beginning of October, end of September, somewhere in there. Just keep track of all our channels, which I will link down in the description box, so you can find out when that will be. Now let's get to this book haul, because I'm sure y'all like, bitch, shut up and show me some books. I can do that. I can do that. That ain't a problem. That ain't a problem. It is a struggle to stare in this lens and not right there. God damn. All right. Not that stack of books. This stack of books. First up, I have The Good Luck Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis. This was sent to me by the publisher. It is an ARC, and the book is due out in October of this year, so I will be getting my hands on this and reviewing it for you guys soon. This book is set in a world where, let me just read you a snippet of it before I mess it up, because I can't speak English well right now. Westworld meets The Handmaid's Tale in the stunning fantasy adventure from debut author Charlotte Nicole Davis. The country of Arcata calls them good luck girls. They know their luck is anything but. Sold to a welcome house as children and branded with cursed markings, trapped in a life they never would have chosen. When Clementine accidentally murders a man, the girls risk a dangerous escape and harrowing journey to find freedom, justice, and revenge in a country that wants them to have none of those things. Pursued by Arcata's most vicious and powerful forces, both human and inhuman, their only hope lies in a bedtime story passed from one good luck girl to another. A story that only the youngest or most desperate would ever believe. It's gonna take more than luck for them all to survive. I'm really stoked about this, actually. Also, check this cover though. Tell me the cover is not butamus. Next book I have is Queen of the Conquered by Kaysen Callender. This one, the white is gonna do something funny. Let's see. There we go. Isn't that a gorgeous cover? This one is set in a Caribbean-inspired fantasy world. It says Queen of the Conquered is a novel of colonialism and conquest that reckons with the many layers of power and privilege, perfect for the readers of S.A. Chakrabarty, hell yeah, Ken Liu, haven't read his, and Tasha Suri, hell yeah. Sigourney Rose is the only surviving daughter of a noble lineage on the islands of Hans Lolik. When she was a child, her family was murdered by the island's colonizers. Now when the childless king of the islands needs a successor, Sigourney seizes her best chance at vengeance. With all of her magic and cunning, she prepares to fight for the throne. Bitch, I need this book. So I need this book. I need this book. It is due to come out on November 12th, 2019. Bruh, that cover. That cover. A Caribbean-inspired fantasy world? Yes, please. Then I have Shuri by Nnedi Okorafor, whose name you might recognize from the Binti series, or I think Lagoon, also Who Fears Death. She writes all of those incredible sci-fi, fantasy, kind of Afrofuturism. That's the word I wanted. Shuri obviously is the sister of T'Challa, who is the Black Panther. This is her story, which I think she actually becomes the Black Panther, or it says the search for Black Panther, I'm not sure. But this is a bind up, the first 5 of the series that were released. They're thin because it's more comic than graphic novel, but check that cover, yo. No, literally nothing about this one except I just saw like Shuri, Nnedi Okorafor. Give it. And I have Storm of Locusts, which is the second book in the, was it the 6th World series? The first book being Trail of Lightning, which is the actual very first book that I read, that we did for the Wicked Spirits Book Club back when it didn't really have a name. I don't think it had a name. I'm not really sure if it had a name or not. Whatever, irrelevant. It's written by a Native American author in a world full of like all kinds of Native American heritage, Native American magic, mythology, lore, monsters, religion. I really love that book so much. In that world, the main character Maggie is a monster hunter with abilities of her own, and like the beauty in that book is just, it's really just kind of gritty. There is no fucking like, there is no fear. Well, there's fear, but there's just this very like determined air about Maggie, where she's just kind of a ball buster, but she's like, I'm gonna do what I have to do, and I really don't care how y'all feel about it. Like, you might hate me and I accept that, but you're welcome because I saved your asses. It's set in a dystopian world in which kind of you get to see like the little things, like how people deal with like getting things like coffee and sugar when like the world is gone to shit, which I really love that attention to detail, because that's the kind of thing that I think of when I see him like just casually drinking a cup of coffee. I'm like, so who's harvesting that? Who's making sugar? Where the fuck y'all still getting gasoline from? All the factories and shit and the oil wells and fuck. Where how is this working? I'm just like, I don't think there's a hole in the story per se. I'm just curious. Like, I would like to know. I like seeing that other authors like just put little hints that they've thought all of this out in their story. But what really stuck with me about the first book was this point in which they're describing how bad it is, and people are just basically wigging out like, what are we gonna do, so on and etc. And Maggie, who's Donita, is essentially like, this ain't different than nothing my people have been dealing with for years. So I mean, life goes on. We already had our apocalypse. We've been living in the apocalypse. This is new to y'all, but this is not new to me or my people. And that really fucking resonated with me, because goddamn. And I got an arc of Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This book, holy fuck. It, first of all, is it out yet? I don't think it's out yet. No, it comes out in November. I devoured it within like 2 days of the publisher sending it to me. Talia Hibbert is a black author living in the UK, a black author from the UK, who writes about like own voices issues. In this particular novel, the main character has a chronic illness. She is also a big girl, and something about this character, like at first I really was like, okay, I don't know if I'm into like the way her thought processes work, because she's just a little like, it just wasn't, something wasn't vibing with me. And then after like the first or second chapter, I was like, oh, I like this bitch. I like this bitch a lot. One thing about Talia Hibbert's stories is that her characters are fucking incredible. I love her characters in all of her books. Most of her books are steamy. This one is more like in a edging towards adult than it is adult. It's not as steamy as all the rest of hers, but it's still really great. Chloe, like I said, is living with a chronic illness, and she kind of has this life-altering event happen to her. Not the illness, but like after living with the illness for a while, there's another like event that just kind of like jolts her into going, you know what, I need to get a life. I need to create like a bucket list of sorts, have things that I want to do. So things on this including like have meaningless sex and do, is that on this list? Did I make that up? No, it didn't. Enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. So this is a list she's created for herself after this kind of thing just like jolts her into thinking like, I could have fucking died and I don't have a fucking life. I don't do anything. Like, what will my legacy be, essentially? Hashtag can relate. But so she moves out of her family's place and goes to be on her own, and for the first time since getting this illness, and she meets Red, who is the super in her new building, and the Sparks child, they fly. It's a little bit hate to love. It's not really hate to love, it's more like aggression to love. Maybe not even aggression, is not the wrong word for it. It's just like they just argue, but they don't really hate each other. It's more kind of like a not even a hard to get, it's like I'm pushing you away, but like low-key you hot as fuck, yo. They don't actually hate each other that I'm aware of. They're both, that I can tell, very very attracted to each other in the beginning. Anyway, I really enjoyed this book. You should read it. It was very fucking good, despite the like very fucked up summary I just gave you that probably didn't do it justice. But oh my god, I love this book, and I'm still gonna do an individual review for this one now that I have my brand new camera and it didn't take me 30-40 minutes to set up every time I want to film something. Alright, then I have obviously Stories from My Timeline by Akilah Hughes. This is supposed to be a fucking hilarious series of essays by the author, like memoir type essays, and I have heard that they are damn hilarious. I have not gotten to it yet, but it was sent to me by Penguin Teen, so thank you guys for that. That is dope. It is great being part of the Penguin Teen influencer team. I love it. But I'll just read you the top little blurb real comedian and activist Akilah Hughes shares everything about her journey from a childhood in the South to the big screen while dispensing invaluable big sister style advice to a generation of future YouTubers. Holla! Also sent to me by Penguin Teen, I have War Girls by Tochi Onyebuchi. This one, I'm gonna get real close on this cover so y'all can see this. This one is obviously kind of sci-fi. It's futuristic sci-fi with people of color. It is set in Africa. Is it in, yes, in Nigeria. So it says the year is 2172. Climate change and nuclear disasters have rendered much of Earth unlivable. Only the lucky ones have escaped to space colonies in the sky. In a war-torn Nigeria, battles are fought using flying deadly mechs, and soldiers are outfitted with bionic limbs and artificial organs meant to protect them from the harsh radiation-heavy climate. Across the nation, as years-long civil war wages on, survival becomes the only way of life. Two sisters dream of more. Their lives have been marked by violence and political unrest. Still, they dream of peace, of hope, of a future together, and they're willing to fight an entire war to get there. It's supposed to be action-packed and pretty dope, and it's huge. I'm really excited to get this, but I'm also scared because I read an arc of Beast Made of Night, which is the author's other series. I think there are two of them. Beast Made of Night was one of my most anticipated reads of, I think, 2016. It might have been 2017, but oh my god, that the main character, whose name I can't even remember, but was male in that book, was such a fucking dude bro. Like, is there a black version of a dude bro? Are they all dude bros? But he was definitely a fucking dude bro, and I just could fucking not. He sounded like such, like, just, god damn it, I couldn't do it. It was struggling. It was a struggle for me, which is like, I have this issue with male authors reading male characters from a male author's perspective, or just reading from male authors anyway, because their characters tend to be very just like not relatable for me, because they are such goddamn dude bros and they're so full of themselves, and just all he was basically walking around like his shit don't stink and my hair is badass and just bitches love me. He just like met the princess and she couldn't stand his ass, and he was like, she wants me. I can't. But stoked for this one. Fingers crossed, y'all, because this one comes out in October. Then I have The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Donita Petrus. This one comes out also, oh, this one comes out in September. Whoops. Yeah, it comes out in September of this year. Takes place partially in Trinidad, and then it moves to the US, in which one of the main characters, 16-year-old Audra, her family catches her with her secret girlfriend, which is her, I think, the pastor's daughter, who's also secretly gay. And so they send her off to live with her father in the US. Their first night, or it might not be her first night, I'm not really sure, but when she gets there, she hangs out. She goes with her father to his friend's house, and his father's friend has this daughter who's also kind of struggling with why she's been feeling so badly, why she's been feeling really off, kind of out of body. And then on top of like just like feeling a little off in here, feeling a little off in here, because she has like these odd feelings for like her ex Terrell, but then like her current and I'm not sure if it's a female friend or a girlfriend. Oh no, it says and her girl Jada, in the moment they had in the woods, and then, you know, there's this ill feeling that's creeping upon her. But then she meets Audra, who came from Trinidad, who came over with her dad, and everything kind of starts to fall together for her, and they end up like holding each other together. So it's a coming of age story, like growing into your sexuality as well, and I'm really stoked to read about it. It sounds super good, and it says that it's told in two lush and lyrical voices. Conjures a love that is stronger than hatred, prison, and death, and as vast as the blackness between the stars. Also, I'll let you get a look at that. Y'all, the brown greatness in this stack of books is giving me everything in the feelies. Then have Slay by Brittany Morris, which was sent to me by the publisher, and this dope ass box. Thank you, Simon & Schuster, for that, because it was dope AF. This one comes out September 24th, so it's coming out soon. Please buy this book. Please buy this book. Please buy this fucking book, because it is so good it's not even funny. So 16-year-old Kiara Johnson is, 17, excuse me, is an honor student at this prep school where she is one of the few black students. And we kind of like, the author smacks you with this real shit even in the author's note, and especially like as soon as you dive into the book, it's like, oh wait, let me go walk the dogs real quick and put my bonnet on and get my ass in the bed, because shit's about to get real and I'm not moving until I finish this damn book. Like, it was very much that when I got into this book, because baby, ooh, I was not ready, but I was not ready in the best way possible. So like I said, Kiara is a student at this school. She's one of the few black students at this prep school, and she just kind of gets like, she has to deal with the entitlement of peers who have not had to deal with the same kind of things she's had to deal with, and just don't like fucking get it, and don't get why certain things are not okay, and then try to make her explain to them all the time why certain things are not okay and why she can't do it. Like, she's the authority that speaks for all black people. Like, she has to teach them all the time, and that like wariness that she feels of like wanting to avoid the conversation, like, goddamn, why do I always have to be the one? Like, bro, I feel that so much. But anyway, so she deals with that by day, and then by night, she is the creator of this video game called Slay. It is a very Afrocentric game in which basically a bunch of people of color, it is a safe space for a bunch of black people, not people of color. It's a safe place for a bunch of black people, a bunch of black players, whereas they can't play games like Fortnite or Call of Duty or what have you, because as soon as like it's basically like it's a bunch of racial slurs, it's a bunch of like racial disparities, a bunch of like racial just bullshit, and they're tired. Meanwhile, they can go and play Slay, where blackness is elevated, where it's celebrated, where all aspects of it, everything across the diaspora is okay. Not only okay, but it's great, it's excellent, it's celebrated. I fucking love that so much. And there's so much culture packed into this book, you guys. My god, like I don't want to ruin any of it for you, so I need you all to read it. But holy fucking shit, like, so the game is kind of like a RPG, like a card game kind of a deal. You battle with cards, like Card Captor. You remember Card Captor? I'm showing my age. Maybe move up a little. Digimon, that's still old. I don't know what the fuck else, like with the WoW, that kind of very much that, but there's no dice rolling and it's on the computer, but you do actually battle because it's a virtual reality game as well. The cards that they battle with are all like in a little piece of blackness, if that makes any sense. Like they have this battle card, and the battle card will be called like Princess Side Eye, and the fucking like action that it takes is like, it can be a offensive or defensive action. I don't think there's one here called Princess Side Eye, but that's just an example. They're like little bits of black culture like that, like famous jazz players, famous black actresses, famous like black dances, like stuff like that, just like little bits of black culture. So it's also like teaching newer generations about things that are like very, very black, very celebrated. And I fucking love that so much. Like I said, there's so much culture packed in this book. And I don't want to tell you anything else, even though there's one aspect I really want to talk about, because it always just gets me like really fired up. But I'm going to review this book separately, so like we'll get there. But it comes out September 24th. Read it, buy it, pre-order it, read it again, buy multiple copies, borrow it from the library, borrow it from your friend. Like, just get your hands on this book. Then I have A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy, again sent to me in a box by Penguin Teen. This one, 17-year-old Eva is a princess born with the magic of blood and marrow, a dark and terrible magic that hasn't been seen for generations in the vibrant but fractured country of Myre. Its last known practitioner was Queen RENA, who toppled the native Khmer royalty and massacred thousands, including her own sister, 8 generations ago, thus beginning the rival heir tradition. Living in RENA's long and dark shadow, Eva must now face her older sister Issa in a battle to the death if she hopes to cinch the ivory throne. Because in the kingdom of Myre, damn it, only the strongest, most ruthless rulers survive. When Eva is attacked by an assassin just weeks before the battle with her sister, she discovers there is more to the attempt on her life than meets the eye, and it isn't just her sister who wants to see her dead. As tensions escalate, Eva is forced to turn to a Fae instructor of mythic proportions and a mysterious and handsome Khmer prince for help in growing her magic into something to fear. Because despite the love she still has for her sister, Eva will have to choose Issa's death or her own. It's a North African inspired fantasy that subtly but powerfully changes our notions of power, history, and identity. This one comes out in October. This light is fucking with my ability to, yeah, there you go. Then I have Symptoms of a Heartbreak by Sona Chiraipotra. This one was my very first book of the month YA box, for which, yes, I am an affiliate / influencer, whatever you want to call it. I will link my link down in the description box. I will not bother you with the whole long spiel. However, for a monthly fee, you get a new-ish, it is either about to release or has just recently released or is releasing when this when your box gets to you, YA book, and you can pick one out of, I think there are 4 choices. So for the first month, for me, I picked Symptoms of a Heartbreak. This one is about a 16-year-old basically wonder child who has not only like gone through college already, but has her PhD and is an actual doctor at 16 years old. She's working on a pediatric cancer unit where she falls in love with one of her patients. 16, not pediatric, but you know, 16 is still pediatric. And she kind of has to deal with like getting her feet in this like new dynamic she has, where, you know, she is the person of authority, but one of the absolute youngest person to be in that position, and treating cancer patients and doing what she's supposed to do for work, doing what she has to do, which may not be what she's supposed to do for work, but will help the boy that she's fallen in love with. And it's supposed to be a very cute, very romantic, forbidden love, almost kind of a YA romance. It's a very cute cover. I'm super, I was gonna say I'm super excited to read it, but I need to stop saying it because I can't say that about literally every book. But literally this whole stack, like, yes, bitch. Next up, I have Color Me In by Natasha Diaz. This was my second book of the month YA choice. This one is about a girl who, I wanted to say, it's a coming of age story about a girl who is half black, half Jewish, and kind of like trying to find her feet, her footing, and kind of feeling that tug from two sides that say like you basically have to be either or, but neither side really wants to say like you're not black enough, but you're not Jewish enough, but you don't, like trying to fit in where every side tries to squeeze you into a box that they want you to squeeze into, even though you're like, there are more pieces to you than the part that they want to see stand out, more or less, if that makes any sense. Also, because she's white passing, that's another like layer of it that she has to deal with, where her family just like thinks she's bougie and entitled, or privileged because of the way she looks. And she tells them like this and that feeling like, it's hard for me too. And it's not until she falls in love and something else dynamic happens, and she like actually sees firsthand the prejudices that her family faces, that she is kind of like, okay, even though like I'm kind of like three sides to the coin at this point, like I can't just like stand by and watch like any of this. So another coming of age story, one I really wanted to read, especially with like race issues being so prominent right now. You would think they would be less and less prominent as time goes on, but it seems like we're on the uptick of some more bullshit. So that's why I keep picking these books. But also I was warned by somebody, I think on Instagram, that this book is a fucking tearjerker. So we'll see, homie. And then I have Hate to Want You by Alicia Ray. I have always wanted to try a book by this author. This was sent to me by Amanda for my birthday, so this one I've had since April, but I'm including it in this haul because it's a recent one that I haven't read yet. And what? I can do what I want. It's my channel. This one is kind of like a missed chances, misconnection slash second chance romance. Livy and Nicholas kind of meet up once a year, like on this one night every year, to have this steamy night together until she stops showing up. And then Nicholas is forced to kind of like put her behind him. You know, he's got a job to do, he's got an empire to run, he can't be chasing bitches. Yo, it doesn't say that quite fucking obviously, it's just me being stupid. Nevertheless, he's kind of put her behind him, and then she just pops back up like, boop, remember me? She didn't come back for him, but now they're just thrown together until they're like, it occurs to one or both of them like, maybe this is meant to be then, because we just keep, every time we separate, like whether it's of our own volition or the universe throws it together, we keep coming back. I've heard it's very fucking angsty, like a little soap opera-y, so yeah, I can't even say soap anymore because I think of dick soap. And then lastly, not in the Dust Jacket because I am currently reading it, is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Face Off. Just baby. This book is a struggle for me right now because in the audiobook, I'm actually listening to it on one speed, which I never listen to audiobooks on like single speed. But it is narrated by Steve West and Fiona Hardingham, who narrate the Ember in the Ashes series, and oh, they are such good narrators. Steve West also narrates the Strange the Dreamer series. So good, so good at narrative that I actually enjoyed listening to it on single speed. And then I didn't wonder why the pacing seemed too slow for me until I picked up the physical book to read from Mythathon, and these chapters are like 2-3 pages a piece. For somebody who reads as fast as I do, that is very kind of fucking irritating, just a thing. So it's very disjointing, which is making it difficult for me to read. But we have in this one, Zafira is a hunter disguising herself as a man when she braves the cursed forest of the Yars to feed her people. Nasir is the Prince of Death, assassinating those foolish enough to defy his autocratic father, the Sultan. If Zafira is exposed as a girl, all of her achievements will be neglected. If Nasir displays his compassion, his father will punish him in the most brutal of ways. Both Zafira and Nasir are legends in the kingdom of Araya, but neither wants to be. War is brewing, and the hour sweeps closer with each passing day, engulfing the land in shadow. While Zafira embarks on a quest to uncover a lost artifact that can restore magic to her suffering world and stop the Yars, Nasir is sent by the Sultan on a similar mission: retrieve the artifact and kill the hunter. But an ancient evil stirs as their journey unfolds, and the prize they seek may pose a threat greater than either can imagine. Set in a richly detailed world inspired by ancient Arabia, We Hunt the Flame is a gripping debut of discovery, conquering fear, and taking identity into your own hands. Child, like, I enjoyed the book, but these chapters are killing me. So I've been reading it slower because I have just essentially been listening to the audiobook, because these 3 full pages a chapter, sometimes a page and a half a chapter, she cannot. But that does not take away from the writing. If you don't mind like going back and forth a little quicker than what you're used to, or what I'm used to in books with 2 points of view, yes, because like the book is still very, very good. It's very gripping. It's just the chapter is the only thing with me that distracted me. But this is a haul, not a review, and I'm not finished with this. I can't review it anyway. All right, so those are all the books that I have in this haul. That was 13 books that I recently got my hands on that are written by Black and brown people, and I am fucking here for it. So I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I've already told you guys, don't forget to check out the book club. I will link the Goodreads group down in the description box if you're into paranormal romance and urban fantasy. If you want to try it, we funny. I promise we are. Like, we always have a good time in our live shows as well. So if you want to read that book, or just watch a live show and see how we act a fool and cut up and see what we thought about the book if you just skimmed it, join via the link in the Goodreads group down in the description box, and also check out our live show. I will link Amanda and Brandy's channel down in the description box as well. These dogs are making me tired, golly. But thanks for sticking with me, y'all. I will be back soon with several reviews that I still have to film. My dog has the zoomies. I've had fucking enough. Also an announcement, because she's moving to Europe this fall. Yup. So great things coming. I will of course be vlogging it, hence the new camera, and working on my vlogs, because doing them with my iPhone was too much of a pain in the ass. I just could not do it. So great things coming. Hopefully you guys still stick around and grow with me, and let's do this, yo. Why do I keep doing weird shit? I am so out of practice with filming. God damn it. I'm just gonna go now. Okay, bye.